Welcome to Daytime Ottawa here on Rogers TV. Welcome. It is Friday. Excited to have you with us because we have a great show. A couple of back-to-back segments to kick things off, and we start in the kitchen as we usually do. He's a regular guest on the show. You're gonna familiarize yourself with him if you haven't met him yet. Ben Baird's the executive chef at the Pelican. And we're back again with some fish tips, right? Pelican fish tips. Great to have you. I was telling you, we went in last Saturday. Of course, you and Jim weren't there because it's the weekend. I should be coming during the week. Yep. And service fantastic. I was telling you before the show, never tried monkfish before. Had no idea what it was. Asked the guy, well, what do we want to try something different. Amazing.
It's a beautiful product.
It really is.
Yeah, Portman's lobster.
Yeah, it does, and it doesn't look like. You know what I mean? It doesn't look spectacular when you look at it like, are you sure about this monkfish? And he's like, listen, you take this home and you give it a try. You can look up recipes online, but he gave us some ideas. It was amazing. But today, we are talking everything shrimp because you got a big shrimp festival coming up, right?
We got Shrimp Fest starting next week in the restaurant.
Okay.
It's going to run for a month. We got all kinds of shrimp promos. We got a shrimp menu. We're going to launch some shrimp tacos, shrimp ceviche, extra shrimp. We're just going through shrimp. We're selling shrimp.
And this is shrimp,
shrimp.
that's different from where you're going to get almost anywhere else in the city, right?
Well, yeah, and we offer a variety of shrimp, especially in the market. I mean, I brought a little sampling of just a few of the shrimps I grabbed from the counter today, so I could educate you on some shrimp. Okay. And we're going to cook a few shrimp.
All right.
These are our house cocktail shrimp. This is the cooked product. This is our cocktail shrimp.
Okay.
We cook these 4 or 5 times a day. You can come in, you can buy these cooked. You can sit in your car and just eat a bag of shrimp.
Nice, I like that idea.
Big container of dip. I think I see people do it.
Yeah.
This is the same shrimp, but this is uncooked. Okay. We're going to make a taco. This is a 1620 shrimp. A Pacific white. Pacific white shrimp. 1620 refers to how many shrimp you get in a pound.
Oh, yeah,
so
okay.
For these, 16 to 20 in a pound. These are an Argentinian pink shrimp. This is an 812, so there's 8 to 12 shrimp in a pound.
Gotcha.
These are peel-on, but they are deveined, so they're split down the back so that vein's removed.
Oh,
Peels off really easily.
Yeah.
But these are raw. They're pink. They look like they're cooked, but it's an Argentinian pink shrimp.
Yeah, that's interesting, right? Because it can throw people off because that's oftentimes if you cook it with the shell on, they tell you, oh, just wait till it turns pink.
Yeah,
so
like
these ones
guys turn pink. These will kind of look more opaque.
Okay.
They will brighten in their pink color, but you can really tell you feel the shrimp. That's the best way. They feel a little, well, they feel different when they're raw. And then these beautiful things here are cold water shrimp. These are 125, 175. So a pound of those, you get 125 to 175. And this is where we're going to start our cooking demo today.
Okay.
So let me move these out of the way.
These little ones, I recall when I visited Europe, in England in particular, they would call them prawns, the smaller ones. Is that right? Or maybe it's the opposite.
No, I think a prawn to me is much bigger.
Big? And then the shrimp was the small.
Yes,
maybe that's okay.
Exactly. I think you got it backwards.
Okay.
Some people call these matan shrimp, but these are. I mean, we sell them cooked. We don't have to peel these. Thank goodness they come peeled. So we're gonna make a little shrimp salad. Okay. This is like the easiest thing, but since they're cooked, we're just gonna add some flavor, a little cucumber, some celery, all finely diced, a little red pepper, a little bit of some green onion, but white onion if you have it, no onion if you don't like it.
Yeah.
Fresh chopped dill.
Nice.
We're not going to go cheap with that. And then this is some Old Bay spice. We do sell this in the market.
Old Bay spice.
Old Bay. Just a little bit of Old Bay gives it a little smoky flavor, a little bit of spice.
I haven't seen that in a while. I remember my mom used to get this, and I haven't seen it for a long time.
It's a classic with seafood.
I can't believe you guys have it. That's amazing. Okay.
Can't go without
Next
Old
time
Bay.
I stop by, that's what I'm going with. A little salt, pepper.
Salt and pepper, some mayonnaise. And then, as I was walking out of the kitchen, one of the prep guys had just cooked off some bacon.
Nice.
And I thought, oh my God, I'm making Derek a shrimp sandwich. We're going to throw a little bit of bacon in there.
Throw some bacon in there. Right? Love it.
And then we're just going to mix it up. And now you could serve this on a lettuce leaf.
Right.
You could, on bread is how we're going to do it. But for me, what I would do.
So it's like a shrimp roll instead of a lobster roll.
Exactly. Right? Exactly. And, with the price of lobster these days, this is about, a quarter of the cost.
Yeah.
Probably even more than that.
That's a good point.
And, I mean, my kids eat this up. I eat this up. It's good in the fridge for a few days. I'm going to try to get it in the bun. We'll see how I do.
I believe in you.
Yes.
You're a professional.
There we go. You just got to start it off. So load that up.
Look at that.
And then I got this one's a piece of pumpernickel.
Nice.
So what I like to do with the pumpernickel is I'm going to load it up, and I didn't bring, because I don't have an oven here, but you kind of mount it up.
Yeah.
We're going to put some cheese on there.
Put that in the oven?
450 degrees for like 10 minutes. Golden brown, like leftovers the next day.
What is the, when I know we're going to cook some shrimp in the next segment, but I wanted to pick your brain because shrimp is delicate.
Yep.
What's your advice for people when they're preparing it, when they're cooking it at home?
Well, it doesn't take long. You don't want to overcook your shrimp.
Right.
My favorite way to cook shrimp is to poach it. Make a court bouillon, like some celery, some lemon, bit of onion, kind of cook that for about half an hour, and you get those aromatics out, some bay leaf, some garlic, salt, and then put your shrimp in there and turn it off. And just let them sit 12 minutes maybe, not like off the burner, lid on.
Okay.
Pull them out, look for doneness, but it's going to incorporate so much flavor to the court bouillon. Let them cool, cocktail sauce.
Nice.
Like I mean, you know.
Yeah, I mean, look at
shrimp
these.
cocktail.
These are things of beauty.
Shrimp does not have to be served hot.
Yes.
Yes.
That's great. So for the Shrimp Festival itself, how many different dishes have you guys prepared? Do you know?
Well, I mean, it's some things like, you know, if you buy the shrimp cocktail, it used to be 6 shrimp. We're going to throw a 7th shrimp in. We're not changing the price. Our Korean shrimp, we're throwing another shrimp on the plate. Our jambalaya, we have a shrimp jambalaya on the menu. Shrimp tacos, shrimp ceviche. It's shrimp month.
Ceviche.
It's just going to be.
I love it.
I'm going to be.
Should we do a little taste test
That's
here?
what I like it when you taste test things.
All right.
And I know, I mean, the cameraman was eyeing up the shrimp cocktail, so.
Well, Arthur, our volunteer coordinator, was in here. I'm surprised he's not here now.
He was right beside me the whole morning. I felt like I had a security guard finally.
Oh my goodness.
They're so tender. They're so juicy.
That is so good.
Yeah.
So
get that Old Bay in there. Here he is.
Back off, pal. No, come on in. Arthur's our volunteer coordinator. So for those of you at home that don't realize, we're a volunteer-driven television station. So everybody behind the scenes is a volunteer. And Arthur here coordinates all of those volunteers. And we're talking about, what, a couple of hundred?
Yes.
A couple of hundred volunteers that he looks after. So because of that, we have to feed him every now and then. You know, he's like a pet. Right? Every now and then you've got to feed Arthur. So do you want to try one of these?
No shrimp.
You want to try one of these ones?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Is that okay? Is he allowed to dig in?
They're all for you.
They're all, not just you.
Leave some for the second segment.
Exactly. Second segment, go ahead, try one.
I'll come back. Oh.
Yeah. Give it a try. Let's watch the reaction here. Oh, see? He's also an actor, ladies and gentlemen. You can.
Hands off my tails.
All right, there he goes. Coming back after the break, we're going to prepare some tacos. So Ben Baird sticking around for another segment. As promised, we've got some other great segments coming up on the show. We're going to be talking about mixing and matching fabrics a little bit later on. We're going to be talking about a great workshop for women that are, looking for change in midlife. And I'm going to introduce you to an amazing young person from World Vision Canada who just recently won an award, and she's been doing incredible things. We'll be back with Ben Baird in the kitchen right after this. Don't go anywhere.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details. Join us for the new season of Ottawa Storytellers, right here on Rogers TV.
Today, I helped a parent feed their family by connecting them to a food program.
Today, I helped someone connect with mental health supports.
Today, I helped a couple struggling to pay their bills access financial aid.
Every day, 211 navigators connect Canadians to critical government and community programs and services.
211. Help starts here.
Some of Canada's most interesting and accomplished people share their lives, careers, insights, and stories each week on Canada Files. I'm Valerie Pringle, and I'll be speaking with economist Mark Carney, actor Eugene Levy, author Louise Penny, and architect Moshe Safdie, among others. I hope you can join us.
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
Welcome back to the show. The beauty of cooking with seafood, any kind of seafood, is it doesn't take any time at all. And for those of you at home that are like, I don't have time to prepare a meal, well, that's because you're probably not preparing with some beautiful seafood from the Pelican Seafood Market and Grill. Executive Chef Ben Baird back with us, and this time we're doing some cooking. So you talked us through the different styles of shrimp. I mean, obviously you only brought a few of what you offer, right?
That's
a little
right.
sampling, but now we're actually going to cook something. We're back again with Pelican Fish Tips. We're going to show you how to do a taco at home, right?
That's right. I mean, there's millions of variations for tacos, like what we can do. So we just kind of thought it'd be fun to do. I'm going to do like a little Korean-inspired taco.
All right.
But super simple. So if we start with, these are Pacific White 1620 shrimp. You can buy these thawed on the counter. They're a frozen product. Shrimp are...
Grab some. How many do you need?
I don't know. Let's do 2 tacos. So let's do 6 shrimp.
6. Okay. 1, 2,
3 shrimp per taco.
Yeah, you get back in there.
And then, you know, if I had a barbecue in front of me, I would probably take these, put a little like cumin, salt, pepper, paprika, oregano, fire them on the barbecue, into the shell.
Are you a year-round barbecue guy?
I'm a year-round barbecue guy.
Good
Yeah,
man.
I love barbecuing year-round.
Me too.
And then one thing we want to do is, so they come with, these are tail on. The tail's just...
You really just squeeze them off,
You just kind of
They're
pinch
pretty
the
easy.
very bottom and pop them off, and you can do it really fast. I mean, I have guys that clean a couple hundred of these every day.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
A couple of thousand maybe, depending on the night, right?
Depending on the day. Well, Shrimp Fest is coming too, so I mean, our shrimp orders
Get ready, boys.
We're going to sell some shrimp. We're doing, it's all kinds of shrimp fun. So a little oil in the pan.
Okay.
And so we're going Korean. I'm just going to go salt.
Okay.
Pepper. Give them a little toss around. A little more pepper on the other side.
Okay.
And then I got my pan preheating. You want to start with a hot pan, and they don't take long.
Oh yeah, as I said off the top, I mean, if you're looking to do something quick and easy, especially during the week, you don't have any time, this is a perfect recipe for everybody
Shrimp
at home.
pasta is one of my go-tos.
Yeah.
5 minutes, you're laughing.
I love it.
Tacos is the other way too. So any kind of, I mean, this is we're doing a Korean shrimp, as I said. This is our house Korean sauce.
Okay.
Like I talked about one of our appetizers that we're featuring this month. Ginger, garlic, shallot, honey, some sugar, Korean chili flakes, rice, wine, soy.
So a little sweet and spicy.
Sweet and spicy. Any kind of sticky, where I'm going with any kind of sticky sauce.
Okay.
You can go to the grocery store, get a sticky, any kind of like a hoisin-based sauce.
Okay.
You want a sticky sauce.
Gotcha.
Because we're kicking our shrimp. See, they're getting pink around the sides. We flip them over.
Look at those beauties.
Oh yeah, they're cooking. They cook so fast. Another 2 minutes, and then we're going to give it some sauce love.
Well, and as well, you know, if you get a picky eater at home, and you know, tacos are probably the great way to hide things like this too, right? Hey kids, it's taco night, and you put out the little buffet, and you know, throw the shrimp on there, maybe chop them up even so the kids don't, you know, realize exactly what they're having, and then just there you go.
A little sweet potato puree on there to get a vegetable in.
Nice, I like it.
That's always my goal is.
Really? That's a good idea.
If there's a vegetable in there, it's a win.
Nice.
But maybe we should do a parenting hacks class one time where we.
That's a great idea.
You know how we sneak food into our kids.
Nice.
The famous cauliflower muffin.
Cauliflower muffin? Is that what you guys do?
I think my sister-in-law do that.
Okay.
Anyway, so I've drained the excess fat because we don't want that.
Okay.
Turn the heat down a little bit, and now I'm going to glaze the shrimp.
Nice.
For the glaze.
Look
little
at that.
steam shot, right?
Yeah.
Makes for
good
good television.
It does.
Swirl them around. We want to get them sticky. Coat them up a little bit.
Oh my goodness.
That's right.
Smell-o-vision, folks. It's coming. We talked to it with a chef on the show, David Godso, who you know was on the show yesterday.
I heard,
and he was like, I am going to figure out a way to do smell-o-vision for everybody so that everyone at home can enjoy this. I'm game for that.
You are a smart man.
There we
you
go.
Can figure that out. So I always say 2 to 3 shrimp per person, or sorry, per taco.
Yeah.
Lay them in there. And then I like to get a little sauce. Let's turn the burner off before I put my hand there.
Yeah, don't do that.
No.
And there's the sticky
little
sauce.
stickiness on there. Then we're gonna garnish.
And does it ever render down quick, right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't take any time at all for the sauce either, so it doesn't overcook in the sauce. You're good to go.
Exactly. And then I just brought some simple garnishes, but you know, there's a myriad of salsas available to you. This is some fresh pineapple.
Okay.
I don't mind fresh pineapple. If I had a barbecue, I might grill it.
Yeah, for sure. Bring out a little bit of the sweetness from the pineapple that way.
A little bit of pickled onion. You know, again, sweet, sour, salty, and then pickled onion.
And what have you got here? The little microgreens?
Micro cilantro.
Micro cilantro.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, we use a ton of this stuff.
Really?
Yeah, Jake, try one. It's the cilantro kind of with an extra
cilantro,
little pop.
Yeah.
Very fresh. Ottawa microgreens around the corner from the restaurant.
Oh, that is
We're big fans.
Yeah.
You can go in there and they'll cut you a little container.
Nice.
So you buy your shrimp at Pelican, you swing around the corner, you pick up your microgreens, you're home, you're having some tacos, and
you're good to go.
You eat with your eyes first, right? Those look pretty good.
Those look absolutely fantastic.
Again, 5 minutes, not even.
I'm going to do the taste test here.
I brought extra napkins and some wet naps for you.
He has seen me taste test before on the show.
I've seen people eat shrimp. A little sweet, a little spicy.
Yeah, it is. The perfect mixture. Absolutely perfect. Look at that.
And then Shrimp Month is going to start next Thursday, the 22nd, and it'll run for a month.
As always, Ben, I imagine reservations.
Yes.
Highly recommended, right? You guys, last time I was in, holy jumping. Absolutely packed place.
Yeah.
And don't forget, it's also it's a sit down, right? You can do the sit down side of the restaurant. Other side of the restaurant is your market size side of the restaurant, and of course you've got the deli bar, I guess, kind of look and feel to it.
Yep.
Ben, really appreciate it. Always a pleasure having you on the show. Thanks so much to you and your team. Again, don't forget that kicks off next week. Coming up after the break, I'm going to be put through a little bit of a challenge, everybody at home. Last time Diana Delaney was on the show, we did a challenge on how to put a bookcase together. I think I didn't do the best of jobs on that one, but this time around we're going to be mixing and matching fabrics, showed you how to mix and match fabrics, and we're going to tell you about her unique design style. She's got a really unique design style. She starts off with a framework that's the same with almost each design, so we'll be back with Diana Delaney right after this. Don't go anywhere.
This is a perfectly healthy child. What's unhealthy are birth alerts, a racist practice that may stop this Indigenous mother from going home with her newborn. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
watch Podium exclusively on Rogers TV.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to rogerstv.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at rogerstv.com.
Welcome back to the show. We are back to talk a little design. So for those of you at home who are having trouble perhaps mixing and matching fabrics, my next guest is going to put me through a challenge, and maybe you can play along at home as well. Diana Delaney is the lead designer, design lead, owner of Delaney Design Co. Welcome back.
Yes,
Great to have you here.
Thank you.
Didn't bring as much as last time, which, listen, we loved it. I mean, you have to understand, sometimes our guests go above and beyond, and Diana, last time she was on the show, you went above and beyond. But what we want to talk about is, I want to talk first of all about you, because you're a third generation small business owner. Tell me a little bit about, the decision getting into small business, and I'm sure probably your parents a big part of that.
Yeah. So third generation business owner. My grandfather actually had some of the first yellow school buses in Eastern Ontario.
Really?
Yeah. So it all started with his. He used to pick up kids on the back of his milk truck. So he did a milk run, and he'd turn over the crates at the end, pick the kids up and get them to school. And then when the opportunity came to purchase school buses, that's what he started that. And then my father took it over. I was supposed to, but then I fell in love with the design, and
so yeah, tell me about falling in love with design. What was the inspiration for that?
Yeah, it's very funny. I was just one of those kids who loved to do my own space, do everyone else's space, my friends and family. It just came very naturally to me.
Right.
And I really started to realize how much environment has an impact on how we show up in our lives. And everything from working from home to entertaining or having your family and feeling nice and cozy. Design plays a huge role in that. That's why I do what I do.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have a unique approach to design. I teased that a little bit earlier on. What is your approach? What makes it unique?
So I really get down to the core. So I felt misaligned in the industry after a few years being in it.
Okay.
I felt like there was this big push for, and we probably feel this everywhere in our lives, but for mass consumption, consumerism, right? Design, we need more, we need to be better, we can't be proud of our space, we can't love our space without having all this stuff.
Right.
And it really bothered me because you can have things be really simple and still have a beautiful home that you love. And so what I've done in my business is really, let's focus on how you want to feel first.
Okay.
And I teach people how to incorporate that into their space, no matter what your budget.
So that's the beginning of sort of that framework I teased off the top of the show. So that framework looks like what? You come to me and we have what kind of discussion for you to find out what maybe my style is? I might not even know what my style is, right?
Exactly. So I have some pre-homework that we start with. I send that. It's kind of, we work on your color and your style. And also the discussions we have at the start. So I really pull that out. I ask you how you want to feel, how you function in your space is really important. So it's not all about making it look perfect and pretty. Do you have a dog? Do you have children? Do you what does that look like? And let's start there, because there's no point in having a perfect white, crisp, clean home if you have children running everywhere, dogs, what do you actually need to do in your space?
Yeah.
And let's work from there. And I pride myself on being able to pull that out of people and making sure they understand how that impacts what we're going to create together.
You must be amazed, because when you say practicality, the thing that stands out to me is people's kitchens, and how, you go into somebody's kitchen and there's an expectation that, dishwasher has to be near where I'm putting dishes away, right? And right, and like certain things need to be in a certain space, and then you go into someone's kitchen, it just makes no sense at all, right? Mm-hmm. Do you find you run into that quite often with people?
Yeah, so that's why we like to come in at the start before you even, I do pre-planning before you even start a kitchen design or something. We get in there and ask all of those important questions that sometimes when you're doing it on your own, you don't think of those little pieces. So doing that for so long, we really get a sense of you did and showcase what does your day-to-day look like? Where are your dishes? Where do you want your dishwasher? Where do people come in and out of that space? So if we're not starting from scratch, we can do things to make that feel better for you.
Well, let's talk about that, because you offer a variety of different services. So tell me about the different services that you offer.
Yeah, so the one that I'm talking about, I start everybody with this design lesson framework, because that really gets to the core of how you want to feel in your space, and that's my baseline for everyone, because I really love what I've developed with that. But I do full scale design. I do residential, commercial. I also love doing the design lesson process with small business owners, so small brick and mortars, healthcare spaces, where those things are really important. Chiro clinics, dental clinics, and then also like psychology, you know, like all of those spaces where you want people to feel a certain way when they come in, so they're comfortable, they're not scared. Sometimes it needs to be energizing if it's like a healthcare, like workout kind of space.
Exactly. You want to, when you walk into the space, you want to be inspired right away. You want the space to have some energy. You brought a bunch of stuff with you here today. We're talking about mixing and matching fabrics. Something I'm sure a lot of your clients probably struggle with. What's the first step when you're mixing and matching fabric? What do you have to keep in mind?
So you always want to think of, I'll do a really quick rundown. There's lots of colors here today.
Okay.
So once we develop your color palette, it's a very important first step, but you always want to be thinking of variation.
Okay.
So I think there's a lot of, you don't want to have just all flat fabrics, right? Like there's a smooth fabric, you don't want to mix and match a bunch of smooth fabrics or shiny fabrics. You want to add a bit of variation, and that's kind of basics of elements and principles of design is always variation. You want to have movement, you want to have texture, and make it really visually interesting. So that's kind of the baseline for, I brought a selection of fabrics, and then I'm going to run you through a challenge a little bit later.
Oh, I like that. So, and let's talk about too, you know, a lot of people are looking for customization these days, and you know, my understanding is that you even do like customization of furniture and that sort of thing. Is that like, what's the starting point? Do I start with the piece of furniture, or do I start what's on the wall? Do I start what's on the floor? What do you always suggest?
Once we build a color palette, that we decide on one piece for inspiration.
Okay.
So if it's an existing chair and you want to redo that, sometimes it's looking at the fabric first and then being like, these two chairs are going to be covered in this really crazy fabric, so we need to do a simple drapery, or and we're going to go a little bit simpler in the area rug. So it's really just like putting all those pieces together and making sure they all work together. But there's always just one piece of inspiration, and it can be any one thing, but that's where we start and build the colors
and then there's textiles, right?
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you're looking at your textiles, or you're looking at fabrics, you're looking, you know, upholstery, drapes. I mean, it can be absolutely overwhelming. Because you brought textiles along with you, I'm noticing here as well.
Yeah, just brought some extra samples so that whenever we start to play with the fabrics, can show how to mix and match different things. So like even everything from like the finishes can change. So if you did something like this would look very modern, this grouping here.
Right.
But if you paired like something like this with a wood, a more rustic wood, like we could start to look like a little girl's room, or like do a little bit more of a vintage vibe.
Right, then we start getting that vignette that you piece together, and then we show what's going to happen. So you're going to put me through a challenge today, right?
Yes.
So what we're going to do, we're back with Diana, and she's going to put me through a little bit of a challenge. I'm a little nervous, but I'm in good hands.
After a night out with your friends, there's always options for getting home safely. You could call your BFF, your mom or dad, whoever you can count on for a safe ride home. You could call your favorite cab company or 1-888 taxi guy. Or you could use the Arrive Alive smartphone app to help you choose your ride. Be it a friend, transit, or taxi, getting home safely is app easy. Now available for iOS and Android devices. Visit arrivealive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive, drive sober.
Learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, on Rogers TV.
These days at your local Legion, we're marching to the beat of a different drum. On a mission to support veterans, to have fun, and to welcome everyone to our ranks. You don't have to be a veteran to join the Legion. And as a member, you'll join thousands of others serving our veterans, our communities, and our country. Oh yeah, and our Member Perks program will save you thousands on shopping, dining, products, and services across the country. Join us at legion.ca.
NHL on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. Well, we are back to put Derek here through a little bit of a challenge. And Diana Delaney putting me through that challenge. Okay, what are we doing? What are we doing? Explain the challenge that you have for me today, Diana.
So, what I want you to do, actually, I'm just going to pull all these right down. We're going to start from scratch.
Okay.
And I want you to select, and don't mess this up because I already gave you the rundown on how to do this properly.
Okay.
I want you to pick 3 fabrics that you think work well together.
That work
based
well
on
together.
What I taught you.
Okay.
In about 10 seconds.
I can. I have more than 10 seconds, Diana. Don't put that much pressure on me. I really like this, so I kind of want this to be my starter. And I need to have different textures as well. So I'm actually gonna go with this, and this.
Okay.
Okay. What do you think?
I like this. I'm
Okay.
gonna pop it up here. We can see this nice up here.
Okay.
So this is actually really good. I'm actually very impressed.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with the fact that I just pulled those off the rack, right? All right. So yeah, we have a nice. It's kind of like a linen texture. There's a little bit of sheen to it.
Yeah.
So it's really pretty. And then we have a nice chunky texture. It's a boucle. It's very hot right now, so I'm sure everyone's loving it. I love this actually. I just want to
really
keep touching
nice.
it. And then a plaid. So this actually. What makes it feel good to you?
Well, first of all, I think this stood out to me because I love this color palette in general. Like even in fashion, I love pink and gray.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I just bought a pink and gray scarf with a little bit of checkered like this to go with a gray jacket that I have. And then I think for this, I love the texture of it. I like the fact that it's, a little bit obviously different, as you said. And then pink, I've always been a fan. I've always been, and I like the sheen, the shine on it, as you described as well.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, because it's a linen, like it kind of looks a little bit linen-y, but it also has a little bit of sheen. So you could do this, it would look beautiful in a drapery, and then doing like an accent chair in this and a pillow, or you could even do like a Roman shade in this.
Right.
You could do all sorts of things with this palette. So I really like it. There's a lot of dimension, a lot of interest. You could do a little girl's room. You could even add in like something like that as a little extra accent pillow.
For sure.
And then if you want to stick with even something like this, what can we do to make it look a little more modern? If we want to go
more modern.
Yeah.
As a third fabric, you mean?
Yeah. So say this is a living room.
Okay.
Which one from here do you think we could add to make it look a little bit more?
A little bit more modern. That's a tough one for me.
So modern sometimes is clean lines.
Yeah.
Can be smooth fabrics, a little bit of sheen as well.
I think I'd add this one probably as a modern sort of thing, right? A little bit of the same sort of sheen though, right?
Yeah, I find, I was torn. Because it's different, sometimes velvets are very, very shiny. You can get a shinier velvet, and I would never pair that with something like a shiny faux silk polyester or something you're getting, because those things compete. So if you have a
trying to move
silk,
that in there.
Moving that if you have a silk or a velvet sofa, you would want to avoid putting like a shiny extra pillow on that. You want to do like more of you could do a linen texture or something that's a little bit more matte, just so that you're creating contrast. And also, I would also maybe add something like that. Could be really fun.
Even with these colors as well.
Yeah, because you're adding in like another pattern now. So
now, because this pattern is busy, is that more of a cushion kind of thing? Like would you do a chair in that?
Yeah, I would totally do a chair in this. Yeah.
I like that you're bold.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes I think we're a little bit afraid of doing like something like this in a chair. We're like, oh boy, I don't know about that. A little, being a little too bold. Should we bring some textiles then into this as well?
Well, so I also have, this might actually work really cool.
Little wallpaper
This is a
action.
little bit of wallpaper. So the other thing I wanted to mention with actual patterns, you want to make sure that, I think I mentioned this earlier, you're playing with scale. So scale is also really important.
Okay.
So you wouldn't want to have 2 patterns that are exactly the same. This is a little bit crazy, but I would totally do this.
I like that.
Yeah, with the black and the pattern. So you're getting a black and white theme, and then the additional accent color is pink.
Right.
So you get to, and then you can play with a variation. So I think a lot of people get stuck on I have pink, so I'm going to get the exact same color pink because that's my accent color now, and you stick with pink, but you can actually vary and like play with those a little bit and make sure that you're getting some dimension in that accent
Could
color.
you go into the, we were showing some pictures here. Let's talk about what we're looking at here.
Yeah, so this is a great example of adding, this was a beautiful place in the Glebe, beautiful third story of this home, and we added so much. There was wallpaper, I don't know if you can tell in the picture, but we did Roman shades, custom draperies.
Yeah, those are beautiful
Did the pillow, there's a velvet chair there, did some pinks in the pillow to tie into the window treatment behind. And I don't know if it already showed the bedroom there, but there was a beautiful floral and bird wallpaper with those
I know which one you're talking about. What about this one here? Tell me about why this works.
There's a lot of monochromatic, so there's velvets, there's the blue texture. There's a lot of blue in there, but we varied it a lot. There's a lot of different patterns in there. So it really, your eye kind of travels throughout the space, and it looks really, really beautiful and cohesive. So
is that kind of a cognac in the back there? Okay.
Yeah, beautiful.
On the couch, but you've added the blue cushions to that to make it. And then we're looking at a beautiful bathroom. Look at this tub. That is the deepest tub.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
That is gorgeous.
Yeah, we did all the custom millwork around the tub, the sconce lights, and those. But if you look at the fabric, and then there's wallpaper. There's a little peek of the wallpaper above. So we did on the uppers of all the bathroom that wallpaper. So it's they're kind of both a similar graphic, geometric pattern, but they are coordinating as well.
And what have you done on the bottom of the wall there? Is that just paint?
And there's wainscoting is there.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
So we built that all out and wrapped it around the bathroom, the lower part of the bathroom.
Before we run out of time, you got a workshop coming up next week. Tell everybody at home about the workshop.
You can go to my website, check it out. The details are there. You can sign up, and it's develop your signature style. So all the framework that I talked about today, we'll be doing that and putting it together using mood boards, and I'll be doing live Q&A on the thing as well, so you can submit your board in advance.
Oh, that's a great idea. So is that virtual then that you're doing?
Yeah.
Excellent.
And
fantastic.
It's free.
My favorite four-letter word, free. You heard it right here. Remind everybody again, your website to sign up and register.
DelaneyDesignCompany.com.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Diana, always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
You've given everybody at home a lot to think about. And as Diana said, be a little bit bold.
Yeah.
You know, when you're choosing things, you don't have to always look at all these beautiful fabrics. Don't be afraid of doing something a little bit different. Certainly, you can absolutely be a game changer at home when people walk into your house. You want to wow them. We'll be back with more right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Think it's okay to drive high? Think again. Drug-impaired driving is as illegal as drunk driving, and in Ontario, the penalties are the same. If police suspect you're driving under the influence of drugs of any kind, or a combination of drugs and alcohol, and you fail a roadside test, your license will be suspended immediately for up to 30 days. You'll pay a penalty of $198. And you can be charged with a criminal offense of impaired driving, the same as alcohol. Driving high is never okay.
Ani, I'm Carolyn King, and I'm a member of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and the creator of the Moccasin Identifier. Philip Cote, an artist in Toronto here, took and redrew real moccasins. We're starting over with the children. The idea is that they would research whose land their school is built on, near, or what treaty area they're in. And the educational kit that we have has all that information in there. And the children just, love it. My dream is that this province will be covered with moccasin identifiers within the next decade. And they will forever know whose land they're on. That's the goal. Educate and awareness with a nice, simple little program called the Moccasin Identifier.
With Rogers TV, you can cheer on the home team from the comfort of your living room. We'll head to the rink, the field, the court, or the pitch, so you don't have to. Tune in and cheer on your local amateur athletes on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. If you are a woman experiencing change midlife, my next guest has a great new workshop. She's partnered up with a wonderful doctor here to tell us more about it. I'm joined by Teresa Bailey. She's the founder and CEO of Starfish Synergies. Welcome. Great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Let's introduce you to our viewers. First of all, tell us a little bit about your background and about Starfish.
Oh my gosh. Well, I've been in business for 14 years, and the last 2 doing this with Starfish Synergies. It sort of came out of my own transition where I was in COVID, single mom, lost all my income, and ended up doing workshops on resilience. And out of that came an opportunity to work with Hasbro, and they asked me to use Play-Doh in their workshops, which I did, which launched a whole new thing. So,
this is incredibly unique. So. You are an exclusive provider of Play-Doh Power Solutions workshops.
Yes.
Describe that to me. What exactly does that mean, Teresa?
Well, I do, and Starfish Synergies and the facilitators I work with do corporate training around team building, around communication, conflict resolution, and we use Play-Doh, and we're the only ones licensed through Hasbro to do it in North America. So we have
Okay. Can we show sort of an example of how you would use Play-Doh?
Yes. Yeah. We're going to do one of the similar activities that we might do. Pick a color. I'm going to let you pick a color.
I'm going to pick this one here.
Okay.
Nice green.
Or you can change your mind too, but I'm going to get you to use a color, and you can use green or another one to create something that represents you. Just make something that represents you. Yeah, and I know you've got limited time to do it.
Well, yes, and I'm not very artistic.
That's okay. That's what people say.
My family would agree.
But everyone is artistic, and there's no test. It's not a. So.
I don't know what I'm gonna
But
do.
I think one of the most valuable things of using play is that not only does it take us back to parts of ourselves that we've forgotten, but we use different parts of our brain. And do you know what side of your body is operated like
the left, right?
Yeah, operates the right side, and so you're using both sides right now. So it makes things, Yeah. So that's one of the most valuable parts of doing something different. And did you use Play-Doh as a child?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Loved it.
When you open a can of Play-Doh, what do you think of?
Right away, I think of spending time alone, but really enjoying that time alone, right?
Yeah.
Being creative, using my imagination. I've always been somebody, even as an adult, and I think that stems from my childhood, is even times when I was by myself, I never felt like I was alone because I always had my imagination, and certainly Play-Doh and the toys I had at that time helped me through that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely. And I think when we talk about the work that we do, a lot of people that I work with are often in different stages of their life and have sort of forgotten that part of themselves. And it's a really good way to get back to it.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
You have a workshop coming up called Meaningful Metamorphosis, Thrive Through Change. Tell me a little bit about that workshop and how you're working with Dr. Susan Farrell on that.
Yeah, she's incredible. So a lot of the work that I do is with women leaders, a lot in not-for-profit or through business, and we had her in a couple months ago, I guess, to do a workshop with us called How to Know When Enough is Enough Before It's Too Much. And it was fantastic because so many people, especially leaders, women leaders in the not-for-profit world too, or government or wherever they are completely burnt out and don't know how or when they need to look for some assistance. So that happened, and also we know that there's such a demand. Both Susan and I have had our own life changes and transitions. She's an expert in the subject. So, yeah, it's really fantastic.
And she's a psychologist, right?
She's a clinical psychologist. Yeah, she is, and fantastic enough to donate some time to us. She's working right now. She's the CEO of the Canadian Mental Health Association in Ottawa.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so very excited about that, and looking forward to working with some incredible women.
So, I mean, through this process, working in particular with Play-Doh and this idea of this metamorphosis, what reaction, what sort of feedback have you received so far?
Well, I always check in with people when they're done our workshops, and they usually say things like they feel more connected, or they feel motivated, or they feel enthusiastic in ways that they didn't before, because we've just spent some time working through things in a different way. And that's in all my workshops, and I know that will be the result of this one too.
Do they go away from these workshops with you know, practices that they can do sort of on a daily basis?
Yeah.
That's the idea?
Yeah, everything that we do is research-based. I have a research background, and that's actually how I met Dr. Farrell 25 years ago, was actually in some of the shelters doing some research years ago. And so everything we do is evidence-based, and we try to help people identify what's going on and then develop some strategies to get through it. And a lot of that is what we do in our corporate training as well.
Right.
Yeah.
This is my best son.
Yeah, so tell me about that.
Well, I just think it represents, I like to have sort of that sunny disposition. I like to make people, you know, feel good about themselves. You know, as I've mentioned many times before, we're a volunteer-driven television station. So, you know, people, we get different people that come in all the time. Maybe it's a, you know, new crew member, a co-op student, high school, or you know, Algonquin student going through the television radio broadcast. And I want to make sure you have fun, right? The idea is, you know, we're doing a show that, you know, we want to make sure it looks great and, you know, it's as perfect as possible. But when you leave here, and guests included, that you go, wow, I had a great experience.
Yeah, that's great. And I think that sums up my experience here today too, actually.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, and I made an open heart, because I try to lead with heart and try to have an open heart, which has been something, a work in progress over the years.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. How do people register for the workshop? What's
well,
the best place?
it's on Eventbrite, so they can look up Meaningful Metamorphosis there. It's also Starfish Synergies is on Facebook and Instagram, so they can find it there as well.
And that's coming up Saturday, February 24th.
The 24th,
right?
Yep, here in Ottawa, yep.
9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And then people can reach out to you as well, right? Do you do one-on-one, personal as well as group?
We can, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
That's something I know well. I mean, Susan is a psychologist, and I certainly can follow up with people.
Excellent. Well, thanks for sharing your heart with me.
Oh, my pleasure.
Hey, we'll be back with more sunshine to come. I'm going to introduce you to a wonderful young woman who just recently won an award through World Vision Canada. We'll be back with her right after this.
The regulars, the guys who keep this place in business. Last week, they had something to celebrate. Jason had just finished university, so they toasted his profs, his TAs, his old roommates. Well, they toasted just about everyone. But I worry about and take care of my guys. So even when I know they're not driving, sometimes that means bringing them a little surprise. And then they had a drink to me.
Brought to you by Smart Serve Ontario and Arrive Alive, Drive Sober.
Join us for the new season of Ottawa Storytellers, right here on Rogers TV.
I still remember the games, the laughter, the footsteps through the hallway. I'll never forget the hard times.
Every day I come back from work, it's always like this. We're yelling in front of the kids.
The help we needed. How far we've come.
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
Watch Podium exclusively on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. My next guest recently won the Hero for Children Courage Award from World Vision Canada, and it's because she's been doing absolutely amazing things. She's also a youth ambassador and chair of the National Youth Council at World Vision Canada. I'm joined by Ashlyn Nguyen. Welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. It's amazing. Tell me about connecting with World Vision Canada. How did you connect with them and why?
Yeah, so I got started as a youth ambassador for World Vision Canada about 3 years ago, and since then I've been the chairperson of their National Youth Council. It's been such an incredible experience getting to lead really talented youth ambassadors and advocates from across the country, and it's gotten me to get to do such cool things, such as being a part of the Courage Award just this past month.
So how did you connect? Like, what was the introduction to World Vision Canada?
Yeah, so I was just starting my university career, really wanting to grow in my advocacy work, which is something that I didn't really do much of in high school. And I found the opportunity on social media, decided to apply. Actually did not apply for the chairperson role, but within a month of onboarding, being really new to the role, just learning about World Vision Canada, the previous chairperson had asked if I would be willing to step up to the plate and take on the role. It was very daunting at first, just onboarded within a month, but it was the best decision I made for myself at that time, and now I've been a part of it for 3 years.
So what does that role entail exactly?
So a lot of my role has to do with leading my team of youth advocates and all the projects that we work on. So for example, in 2022, we released the Youth Political Advocacy Framework, which is a comprehensive guide guiding new youth advocates in the space to learn how to connect with decision makers such as members of parliament, for example, who would be able to champion the change that they want to do either locally or globally. Another project we work on is hosting our annual youth summit, where we invite youth who are interested in advocacy to come to a space, gather, network with other youth, and learn key advocacy skills.
I understand you're at York University. Now you're here in Ottawa, right? At the University of Ottawa. Does that youth leadership still continue at the university level as well?
Absolutely. So while I was at York University, I got a lot of opportunities to be a part of leadership, one of those being as the president's ambassador. So I would actually get to advise President Rhonda Lenton, who leads the university, which was such a cool experience to advocate for the student body that I serve. And now that I'm at Ottawa, I'm doing my best to do leadership as well in my new student community space, as well as in my local community.
And you also have a role, I don't want to get this wrong, you're the youth facilitator with YouthNet. Tell me about YouthNet.
Yes, so when I came to Ottawa, I just moved here last September. I really wanted to embed myself in the community and serve other folks in the community, whether that be youth or other students, and I found the opportunity to work as a youth facilitator. So what that entails is that I work for YouthNet, which is an organization under CHEO, and it is a for youth by youth mental health promotion organization. So we go into schools across the Ottawa region and we present on different mental health topics, how to manage stress and how to cope.
So yeah, what has the feedback been like for those presentations? Because sometimes you send adults in and they have a conversation and kids are kind of rolling their eyes. But when it comes to peer-to-peer, I imagine you get an excellent response.
Absolutely. Peer-to-peer connection brings a different added level of connection that you don't really get when you're talking to adults. Part of that comes with the barrier of not fully understanding what are youth circumstances, what are they truly worried about, and even just talking to them in a way that they can understand is often a barrier. And so, being a young person myself, I'm really passionate about mental health promotion. Going to those schools, we find that youth are a lot more receptive when they're around people their age and can feel more open to be vulnerable and connect.
What are some of those things that they're worried about?
Yeah, so for a lot of youth, part of it is, going through a big transition, whether that be you're getting to the end of high school, looking to going into your adulthood, or whether you'd be younger and actually transitioning into high school. Those are big changes in one's life, and having guidance to that is really key, and not only from other youth who have been through it just recently. Another thing that we do a lot of at YouthNet is we look to connect with neurodivergent youth as well, and also try to bridge the gap between neurotypical youth and neurodivergent youth, and how can we grow together and be supportive of each other.
Yeah, because I know one of your passions is inclusion, right?
Absolutely.
And, you know, obviously bringing different diversities together and inclusion. World Vision Canada, I don't think you could choose really a better organization. Was that one of the reasons why you chose it, because you knew that was part of their philosophy?
Absolutely. So something I'm super passionate about is children's rights and also the intersection between children's rights and health. And so the fact that World Vision Canada specifically focuses all of the programming on the most vulnerable children across the world really fuels me in my passion and helps me be a better advocate within the space.
Yeah, and again, it gives you a perspective that, you know, most of us, of course, you know, in a country like Canada, you know, very grateful and fortunate, but you get to hear stories outside of that, right? Outside of us that are fortunate in life.
Exactly.
Right?
So part of my work as well is connecting with those who are on the field, hearing stories, also hearing stories from staff who have gotten to meet these children in person, and that fuels me to be able to advocate on their behalf. And so a lot of that came into play when I was helping to advocate for the passing of Bill S-211, which is fighting against forced labor and child labor through supply chains.
Very quickly, what advice would you give to a young person, you know, if they're thinking about joining an organization of any kind?
Yes. I think for youth, oftentimes the barrier is feeling like you don't belong in that space, maybe you're not well qualified enough to be in that space, but all of these organizations are looking for youth perspectives because they bring such a fresh energy, and it's really valuable to what these organizations do. So knowing that you bring value to the table and just really going for it is the first step.
Yeah, excellent advice. Ashlyn, congratulations.
Thank you
so much. I really appreciate you joining us. By the way, worldvision.ca to find out more information about the organization, of course, how you can get involved. We'll be back with more Daytime right after this.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to rogerstv.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at rogerstv.com.
Learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, on Rogers TV.
Before we let you go for the weekend, just go over a couple of things from today and then some reminders of what you can expect the last weekend of Winterlude. First of all, big thanks to all of our guests on the show. Diana Delaney, by the way, I forgot to mention this during her segment as we were wrapping up, but she's part of Laugh for the Cure that's coming up March 26th at the Shaw Centre. And they're really taking everyday people like Diana, and they are partnering them with comedians and putting together their own stand-up routine. So Diana's going to be one of those that are going to be on stage and delivering some stand-up. So make sure you get your tickets before they sell out. Again, it's Laugh for the Cure. It's going to be a ton of fun. I can't wait. I'm going to be going to that as well. Teresa Bailey's Meaningful Metamorphosis, Thrive Through Change. That's happening February 24th, 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And you can find more information through Eventbrite. As I said, it's the last weekend of Winterlude, so there's tons of things happening throughout the city. Snowflake Kingdom should probably be open. Spark Street and Byward Market as well. There's lots of activities going on. The Canadian Museum of History, the Museum of Science and Technology, and Madowkey Farm. So check all of those schedules. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Hey everybody, my name is Karen. I'm here with my best friends Shane and Monique. Join us on Rogers TV for Fitness Faction. Every week, we're going to take you through a full body workout. We've got strength training, we've got cardio, we've got HIIT. Ladies, let's get back into it.
I think we've got 10 more skaters. Let's go.
Anyone can show up with a hammer and build something. It's really hard to build it properly.
Sewage air is coming out of this.
There's no reason to be left like this. Absolutely.